Hey, Joe, I'm going to send you something here.
All right.
Yo. All right, Gord, thank you. Hey, good morning, Ben. Good morning, Brenda. Guys, we really appreciate you who get in here early. We really do ask that you spread the word about who we are and what we do with people. Thank you. I know it's a pain in the ass sometimes. We thank you for what you've done. Donations and so forth and anything. Just thank you. Just letting people know. Teaming with us, advertising, whatever be the case. Hi. So the girlfriend just called. She's sick. I said, "You're on the show. You want to say hi to everybody?" She's like, "Not with this voice." No. Good morning. Hey there. Welcome. Glad you guys are with us today. Getting ready to get. Hey, my mic. There it is. I hear myself now. Oh, yeah. Congrats to Florida. Obviously, we'll get the show started at 9 o'clock, but pre-show, warming up, just talking things. Florida Gators, national basketball champs. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. I know there's a lot of Blues fans that listen to. We have listeners all over the country, but a lot throughout the St. Louis and Missouri area. Blues 12-game win streak was ended last night. That was the longest in the NHL this season by the best team in the NHL, Winnipeg. Congrats to Winnipeg. I was interesting. Winnipeg, where it sits, looks like it would be a Midwestern time zone, but it's actually an Eastern time zone. And if you take a line from where Winnipeg is on the map and go straight down, look like that would be where Central time zone is. However, it is East, but whatever. Beautiful day coming in from Greg. Good morning, Kimberly, Karen, Brenda, Ben, Mitch. See them, everybody on the chat line. Hey, guys, thank you again for liking, subscribing, sharing the shows. We get started around 9 o'clock. Just letting everybody know what we do all the time. Any donations on PayPal and Venmo. And, of course, just any sort of advertising as our advertisers jump in and try to keep everything going with what we do. We spend a lot of money on our production value, and it costs money to do that. So we're grateful that you partner with us. Of course, we got big goals, big dreams here. Just like Donald, we're going to win big. Good morning at a voting location, number 2. Thank you, Tanya. It is voting day throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area and several places around the country. When it comes to your school boards, so damn important. Also, mayors. We broadcast live in Chesterfield. Big race there as well. Between the two candidates there. Replacing our good friend, Bob Nation. Remember Bob Nation from Chesterfield? He's retiring. Yeah, he was in the studio a couple different times. Love Bob. Big one in Chesterfield, that's for sure. Do your duty. Get out and vote. We know what they try to do on the local level. Hell, they're doing it at the Supreme Court level. We'll get into that as well. Glad you guys are with us. Cancel this. Friend of mine last night said a really thing. He's like, good thing. He's like, do you really lose money? Because you don't say when you're in the market, I put money in, oh, I lost money. Do you ever say I won money when the market goes the other way? It's like you put it in and then you go, you leave it, and then you relax as best as possible. People should be feeling better. S&P 500, guess what? Opened up today, 3.4%. Maybe calming some fears. Of course, this would liberal media not reporting news that they should. Good morning to Greg and Stephanie and Tanya as well. We continue to rock and roll this morning. getting things rolling. Starting here at about 9 o'clock in about 5 minutes. News headlines, politics, the Trump administration, what's happening in our lives in 2025, the water cooler talk. Of course, you'll be able to watch us, as always, live on Facebook and YouTube, X, and Rumble. You can also catch us on all the usual audio podcast platforms as soon as the show ends as well. Some guy named Pro Joe or Joe Pro or Joe Jams puts that together. Joe Jam. Joe Jams. He's there.
Sounds a lot like Toe Jam.
I know it does. Morning, everybody. I feel damn good today, especially when I see all these countries bowing on their knees to their daddy, to their master, DJT. It's time to level the playing field, excuse me. Just sad as we'll get into about Amy Coney Barrett. Was she always crooked? Was she always dirty and a liar? Or was she compromised in profession, in job? Is she trying to protect her kids? Did the inside people come back on her? Yes, the U.S. stocks are rallying in hopes that the turmoil is done. Glad you guys are with us today. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Robert says, oh, hi, Paige. How are you, friend? Yes, always compromised. Good morning. Yeah, we'll talk with Paige, a good friend Paige, starting the show. When we do that, then we'll get it for a few minutes, and then we'll get back into the rest of the show. Glad you guys are with us today. Hey, is that still your background, your logo?
We quit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still is okay.
Yeah. Yep. We updated our slogan, but that one still
What's
works.
the slogan now?
Renting made easier.
Oh, that's simple, to the point, direct. Makes sense to me. Glad you guys are with us today. We'll get started in just a few moments. All right, we can go and get started, buddy. Are we 9 o'clock yet?
We're at 9.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll go ahead and get it started. Hey Hey, guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. We are live, as always, Tuesday morning, just after 9 o'clock. It is April 8th, 2025. The world is such a better place. Everything tastes better. It smells better. It feels better. The sun's even better when Donald Trump is president, as you know that. Because, oh, yes, we now see the world bowing at its knees. Give the man, the administration time. As I told you yesterday, there will be people trying to freak you out. Oh, my God, the stock market. Yes. Whatever you can, just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Just deep breath and let it slide. Zen. There's a yin and a yang. There's karma. Just sit back and let the man do his job. Once again, cancelthisshow.com. You can catch us live on Facebook, on YouTube, X, and of course, Rumble. And you can jump in on our podcast platform is there, giving us your opinions as well and making sure that you get your point heard. Coming up on the show, the pro-Palestinian movement's not going to go away. They're like the whack-a-mole, illegally shutting down Grand Central Station last night. By the way, we'll get into a big story. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, such a sad disappointment with what she has done regarding her voting and what she pretended to be when she was, quote, running for the job. There's a reason why Donald Trump avoided her weeks ago and at his inauguration, because he knows, the administration knows. And the fact of what she did last night, she can never be trusted again. And it's sad. We'll break that down. Also, are cartels paying off these lower level judges? One journalist says yes, just to cause problems for the Trump administration. Our friend Jasmine Crockett, of course, a African woman, a black African-American woman, basically saying the Mexicans are only good enough to farm. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yet the Democrats always say, oh, we're the party of the minorities. We'll get into that. Speaker Mike Johnson showing he has a spine protecting Trump when it comes to tariffs. We'll get into that. Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, letting us know all about the countries who are now coming to the table, begging to do business with the United States. How far have we come in a matter of 6 months? It's absolutely amazing. And a shout out to Lowe's. We'll tell you what they're doing for Easter. Now, I have somebody who's very close to me who had a horrible experience with Lowe's and vowed never, ever, ever to shop at Lowe's again. This still won't make that person feel better, but they're doing something in the name of Christ, which is very interesting. Is it real? Is it for money? Who knows? We'll get into that as well. Jeannie says her 50 kids grew up and turned out liberal. Yeah, we'll see. She has 7, not 50, but 7 can feel like 50. I know 1 can feel like 3 to a new mom, like the owner of WeQuip, Paige Measley, who joins us this morning. We talked with our good friend Paige for a couple of minutes before we jump back into the show. We love WeQuip and everything that it's about. Paige, you guys had a new website the last time that you came in. Give us an update on business, and for our new viewers and listeners, what exactly it is that you guys do.
Yeah, so for everybody that doesn't know about us, we are an online rental marketplace. We've kind of expanded since we've last talked. So we help people and businesses rent out items, spaces, and services. So anything from cancel this as cornhole boards to
nobody's bought that yet.
I know, but the weather's just getting nice. So, we gotta wait a little bit. If someone's having their kid's graduation party.
Would somebody pay for me to come do chores? Like I'll come do whatever I need to do. Like clean the power wash the house.
So we just
cut the grass.
We just started adding services. So you could do that.
Okay.
We do have catering packages on there. A mobile permanent jewelry bar. So if you're having a party, you could have them come out and do permanent jewelry for everybody. It could be your kid's birthday party, it could be a bachelorette party. So yeah, that's some of our top listings right there.
What's selling right now? Is there anything that's selling more so than anything else, or is it all just kind of, one day you got this, one day you got patio furniture, whatever?
Tables and chairs are still our biggest rentals. But our event spaces are what I'm really excited about right now. So you can kind of see a lot of those. And we also have basketball courts for rent, which are a pretty new addition.
Basketball courts.
Yeah. So if your kid need an extra practice or a birthday party, or you just want to have a pickup game with no one else.
Can you rent pickleball courts maybe?
So we don't have any pickleball courts, but we do have a company on there that will come out and tape your own pickleball court for you.
Interesting.
And bring you paddles, balls, the net, everything. So you have your own pickleball party.
How about that? I figured. Of course, you come up with the great ideas. Did you get your your business administration? What was your master's?
Business administration.
And you got that from Dayton as well, right?
Yes.
Of course, you're a genius.
Yes.
Coming up with an idea. The concept must be working because you've been in business for a while, And if people don't know, I think it sort of like over 90% of businesses fail within the first 2 years. Is that, I thought that was a stat that I saw.
That seems accurate. We're almost at 2 years.
Yeah,
so.
we're teetering here with you.
Yes.
No, we're
We're all, cancel this and we quit. We're pretty close together for sure.
We're rocking and rolling. Jeannie says that's cool. June is coming soon. Wedding reception halls.
Yes. So our biggest event space holds 300 people. And it is in Overland, Missouri, and it's very affordable. So if you're looking for a wedding on a budget, it is the perfect place for you. And a lot of our event venues come with a catering credit through Walnut Catering, so to offset your catering costs if you decide to go with them.
Are you guys nationwide yet?
We technically are, so we have a surfboard out in California if you want to go surfing, another listing in DC. Most of our listings are in the St. Louis area. But last week, I actually spent the week down at Lake the Ozarks, helping to expand WeQuip down there.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Could you do it with boats, possibly?
Possibly with boats, kayaks, paddle boards, life jackets,
jet skis,
baby items, pretty much anything you could possibly need while you go down to the lake that you.
What about babysitters?
That's very possible. We haven't got any babysitters yet.
Okay, there
yeah.
you go. Can you remind people how they use the site before we let you out of here today, and how they can get more acquainted with WeQuip if they haven't done this before?
Yeah. So from what you can see, what Joe is showing, all you have to do is click sign up in the top right-hand corner and fill out your name, password, email, basic stuff. And then you can create your account. All it takes is 5 minutes, if that. It will ask you for a driver's license on the next page. Please do that. It is for everyone's safety. We ask everyone to do it. We don't host the information, Stripe does. So it's also our payment processor. So it's a very well-known company that we can trust. But that way we know who's on our site. You know who you're interacting and dealing with is who they say they are. So it's a very important level of safety.
And finally, what's the wildest, maybe off the beaten path item that somebody has tried to or has put up as a rental item? Is there something that stands out?
The biggest talking point is, I think we've probably talked about it on the show before, was there's just a normal pair of scissors on there.
Okay. Yeah, we did bring that up. I gotcha. But they're special scissors. They were used by such and such. I get it.
But yeah, so we have lots of cool items. Our coolest item, I think, would probably be the STL 250 cake.
What is that?
So remember,
I'm trying to remember.
I guess it was probably 10 years ago or so. There were 250 of these like metal cakes all around St. Louis. And they were decorated by where they were like located.
Interesting.
So there was one at the zoo, one at Grant's Farm, one at Lemp Mansion. So you can actually probably search it, Joe.
And in the meantime, just want to let everybody know, if you want to know anything more, go to wequipusa.com, wequipusa.com.
Yes.
Love the concept, slowly but surely growing all over America. You have a chance to rent items. You don't have to buy for whatever reason, or make a little money by posting your own items. And you know what? Jeannie says, why not? I can't ever find the damn scissors. That is true.
But yes, rent, cancel. This is cornhole boards. And you can also rent the studio on WeQuip.
Oh, nice. That's right. You can rent the studio as well. And before we let you go, how is motherhood treating you? How's your little guy doing?
He's doing good. We had a little bit of sickness last week, but he is up. He is sitting, crawling, pulling up to stand, walking. If you hold his hands, he is keeping us on our toes. And it was good. I've ran into Paige a couple times at church. Go figure. You just never know who you're going to see or what you're going to see. So we appreciate it, Paige. Thank you so much for coming in today. wequipusa.com. Once again, wequipusa.com. Such a unique, very creative site. If you have ideas too, give our genius a call, an email. You never know. You love to work with lots of people. I know that. You're always looking for ideas and keeping an open mind to things. Yes. Phone number's on the website. So please give me a shout if you have any questions. Text,
all right.
Call, email, whatever works.
Real quick, Greg says, celebration of 250th anniversary of St. Louis. Cakes made by local artist Danielle, his wife, made on for Lewis and Clark's Visitor Center in Alton.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Well, thank you, Greg.
You just never know. There's always somebody listening that you don't know, all over the St. Louis metropolitan area, Missouri, or around the country for that matter. Paige, tell your family we said hi. Thanks again for stopping by with wequipusa.com.
Thanks, Vic.
All right. Always love catching up with Paige. We'll continue to promote Paige and everything else. We appreciate you coming in as well. That's good news. That makes me smile. Paige and her family makes us smile. What doesn't make me smile is the story that we're going to start with today, and it's Amy Coney Barrett. What the hell happened? What has gone on? And the way that Donald Trump is operating his presidency, in my humble opinion, now is damn near perfect. If you don't like something, tell us. Bring it up to the table. Nobody's going to rip you. We're all allowed to have our opinions. His biggest problem in his first presidential run, in my humble opinion, was trusting people that he didn't know. He knows now. He learned the Mike Pences of the world and so forth. But now we have a Supreme Court justice, Republican by name, the Rhino, Republican in name only, named Amy Coney Barrett, and she is a Trump appointee. What the hell happened? Was she always crooked, non-Republican, or did something happen in office? Has she been bought and paid for? And Joe, just keep it here for a second. This is what's interesting. I voted against Trump and for MS-13. Let me explain. I'm sure you know, but if you don't, last night, good news, bad news. The good news is the U.S. Supreme Court voted 5-4 in favor of and over this Judge Boasberg, who was trying to stop illegals and gang members who've committed some of the worst crimes you can imagine from sending them out of the country and deporting them to jails like El Salvador. Well, he was trying to stop those planes from going. We knew, and we told you on the show from the get-go, it would not last. They're just popping up like the whack-a-moles again, trying to create controversy, trying to create anything, extra challenges, extra hurdles on that track so that Donald Trump and his team are slowed somehow, some way. They know they won't be stopped. They're just trying to slow the Trump administration. It is evil, and it does not help Americans, and it does not have Americans' best interest at heart. We knew it would work. Supreme Court ruled 5-4 in favor of Donald Trump, not Boasberg. You're gone. You're a loser. Step down. Get out of here. We don't need you. We don't want you. We don't need you. You are not trying to unite this country. You are trying to divide it, and shame on you. And you will meet your maker someday. And you, along with Amy Coney Barrett, should be forced to sit in a room with Laken Riley's mom and others who have been hurt, maimed, raped, trafficked, killed, whatever the case, with those parents, and tell them that these illegals and gang members, MS-13, Tren de Agua, should stay in the United States, in your communities, in our communities. I'm shocked that Amy Coney Barrett went along. She literally voted with Democrats last night. She literally voted with Democrats. And she should never, ever, 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 ever live this down. From the chat line, Jeannie says she is such a disappointment. Michelle, like I said, she rubbed me wrong from the beginning, but I have her a chance, gave her a chance. My bad. Some say that she's Biden's daughter who died in the car accident with his wife. Oh my God. Is she still against abortion? That's why they wanted her to begin with. You're right. And I totally was tricked in this. Oh, she's Catholic. Sleeper Democrat pushed through by Senator McConnell. And he did push her through if you go back to that. And we've already seen he's a sellout. Jeannie says it has to be her kids. I bet on it. And I'll get into that. I will get into that. Also from the chat line, one of the biggest sellout frauds in U.S. history, Amy Coney Barrett. And we are trying to hit this hard because this isn't the first time she has voted against conservatives or the conservative ideal or Donald Trump. She has adopted 2 children, both from Haiti. It tells you all you need to know. Please expound upon that as well. Yes, I've heard things from Haiti with the Clintons and Democrats and people adopting from Haiti, but if you could expound on that, that would be fantastic. I'm just shocked. Yes, allegedly she's still against abortion. Okay. It wasn't too long ago that ultra liberal lunatic libtards were allowed to protest at her house, and other conservative Supreme Court justices, Kavanaugh. who was treated horribly. These people should have been arrested because it is illegal to protest at a Supreme Court justice's home. Amy Coney Barrett, I'm not trying to give her any sort of runway on this, but she was receiving death threats. Her kids were also, because of these lunatic, evil, liberal people, were giving death threats to her kids. Did she turn there? Did she take the money? Because last night was an opportunity for her to not make a very controversial decision at all. But instead of going with her party to get illegals out of this country and gang members and rapists at that, she went against it and said, no, they should stay here in the United States, which is why she can never live this down. Can we show her picture again, Projo? Because people need to know who she is, what she did, what she's about, because no, it's not easy to take this job, but she did vote against Trump and for MSN 13 and for Chen Agua last night. And yes, I'm frustrated about it, but I'm not giving just my opinion. I'm giving you facts because the show is about facts, not fiction. Facts first, feelings second. From the chat line, she has betrayed Americans. She needs to look Trump in the face and tell him, I'm sorry. She needs to go. She can't go. She's there. She's a lifer. End of story. From the chat line, we can't be surprised by anything now. They are getting better at hiding their ideology. We better have a plan B, C, D, all the way down because they're going to continue to jump up. Good point. Like Supreme Court Roberts, something's up with the adoptions. Okay, I get it. I get it. There might be something up with those adoptions, but there's something up with these people as well, because you never, ever, ever, ever see a liberal, ever, justice, do something like this and go the opposite way. And that's why I hope mainstream media absolutely, and I'll say destroys her, but presents the facts. Because if you present the facts will destroy her. This is unfreaking believable. I cannot remember anything in Supreme Court history like this happening. If you guys can think of something, please let me know, educate me. But when you consider the climate of what's going on, when you consider what is happening in our country with what Donald Trump has done with immigration, what has happened with our borders over the last 4 years, the American people are in a majority favor of sending these illegals and especially gang members out. And she goes, no, I want you here. Like Judge Boasberg, one of the most liberal lower court judges that we have in America. And she voted with him. I'm stunned. I am floored. When I saw it come down, I went, oh my Lord. Everything that we have thought or in recent times come about Amy Coney Barrett to light is true. From the chat line, okay, plan B, pack the courts. I've never been for that until they started doing it. No, I'm not for that. Glenn says she shouldn't be voting with or against any party, but with the Constitution. Great point. But I think we know what the conservatives are doing. They're voting with the Constitution right now. There is no doubt about it. She is a traitor. She's a traitor to her party. And we all knew something was up on Inauguration Day when Donald Trump walked down those steps, walked right past her, shook the other justices' hands, even liberals, but not her. He looked right past her. Something has happened, and she had already shown her true colors before last night. Donald Trump knows what's there. Yeah, she gave a weird look to him. It was kind of like, I hate you. She didn't say it, so I'm not going to put words in her mouth. But the look said 1,000 words. What has happened? So now, as I've said, Roberts has left a lot to be desired. And then now we see what Amy Coney Barrett is. She's a Democrat on the Supreme Court justice. So we only won, we conservatives, Republicans, to get illegal gang members out of our country. We are not unhinged. We are not some lunatic fringe. Who doesn't? The majority of Americans want illegals deported. Every polling service says so. And then it's way higher when it comes to the gang members. Glenn says maybe her husband is on the Epstein list. I don't know. From the chat line, I'm never surprised anymore. Devil's playground on earth. Can't predict what is in a person's heart or closet. Neil Gorsuch is so as well. Yeah, it's not like it used to be. It's a sad state of affairs with what's happening. God, please bless our country. God bless our Supreme Court. God bless truth coming out, because you can't have any sort of a relationship or anything without truth first. Greg says, I'm just waiting for the news to report a trans male going into PP, Planned Parenthood, for an abortion, and they let them in. Oh, yeah, who knows? Kevin says, any judge that voted against this should be questioned. It's very un-American. This is where your national news sources for the conservative side need to dig in. Fox, where are you? They didn't do crap this morning on Fox and Friends when it came to really hitting her hard. Newsmax, where are you? Where are you guys the rest of the day? OAN, the podcast will call it out. We will. We know the job that we do. And there's nothing far right about calling this out. People, if she did it last night when she had the perfect opportunity, a comfortable, insulated group of judges around her, there was nothing controversial about voting. Nothing about voting to get illegals out of here. Gang members. The controversy was saying, no, they should be able to stay here. Donald Trump, you don't have the right to do that. Specifically, you don't have the right to do it under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Paul says, our country is being sold out to the highest bidder from the core. It is sad. It is sad. How is that the transportation of illegals being paid for? I don't know where this is all going. But I can tell you this, Amy Coney Barrett is nobody who can be trusted. And it really puts America. What's the next Supreme Court decision going to be? What is she going to go up against next? Are they trying to hide her anymore? That's what concerns me. What the hell is actually happening? From the chat line, Americans used to complain about the mullahs running Iran instead of Khomeini. What is different about our Supreme Court? Yeah, well, it's hit home. It really has hit home with this entire situation. I'm sad because this isn't the end, and she's there. She's a turncoat, a Benedict Arnold, if you will. And once again, Laken Riley's mother should be able to sit in a room and question Amy Coney Barrett as long as she wants after her decision. And if anybody has seen what she wrote, her dissent, please let me know. I couldn't find what she wrote in her decision and or why. If you can find that, please let me know. Did anybody see anything with that? Anything? Because I don't. Tanya, I know. Tanya's calling her a witch. Switch the W out for a B. So in the midst of all of this goodness that's going on, in the midst of all of the great that Donald Trump and his administration is doing, in the midst of putting this country back on track, this is what we told you. There's always going to be something. Where there is good, there is evil. Where there is God, there is the devil. Where there are angels, there are demons. And you have to understand that to understand what is happening in this life that we live. Not everything is going to be cookies and lemonade poolside. You always have to keep your eyes open, but you enjoy it. But at the same time, you got to call it out. Because we continue to see people who just hate Trump. They don't love Americans and they just want their will. It's all about their will. From the chat line, Joe says she's been a turncoat since she got in. And it happened. And how do you think that makes Donald Trump feel? Because he doesn't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose in life. Donald Trump in that position does not. And she's Trump appointed. She is damn. I mean, we've all had somebody in our life who has hurt us, cheated on us, stabbed us in the back, stolen from us somehow, some way. That's what Donald Trump is dealing with now. He got played. Trump got played when it came to this pick. Mitch says, follow the money. Robert says, what about Grassley? Explain Grassley's situation again as I talk, please, from the standpoint there. Also from the chat line. I'd like to know where in the Constitution does it say illegals are to come back illegally? That's how crazy the situation is. None of it makes sense. None of it. None of it adds up. None of it rules out. None of it is anything anybody with a common sense mind would want to back. The only reason is because it's Trump-led. Hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. From the chat line, unfortunately, Trump made a huge mistake with her. Yeah. And every time he sees her, I think he thinks of his mistake. And it just frustrates me to all ends. The globalists want to turn us into Europe. Look at Great Britain, Ireland, France, England, etc. Muslims want to take over the West. We even had a Muslim president. And that's not going to stop. All you have to do is look at the world population, not get into it now. It's coming. And Muslims in America. I think we were told a long time ago, it was by the year 2050, Muslims will be able to elect a Muslim president in the United States if they so choose publicly because of the amount of population. If that's 25 years from now or less. Trump may have an opportunity to appoint another judge in the next 4 years. Maybe. If he does, we absolutely know it will be a hardcore conservative. He will not be fooled again. I can promise you that much. Because people feel Trump is vulnerable right now. The turncoats are showing themselves. Yeah. That's why his popularity is higher and his approval ratings are higher now after tariff talk than before. The only conservatives questioning Donald Trump are older ones. And I get it because maybe they're worried about their money when they look at it right now, today. I get it. Prove us wrong. I'm telling you, what Donald Trump is doing is absolutely amazing. Scott Bessent, again, U.S. Treasury Secretary, spoke out again. It started with about 20 countries wanting to do talks, business on tariffs with the United States, and it went to 30. Then it went to 50. Now it's up to 70. 70 countries. Here's Scott Bessent speaking about what is happening right now. That's right. The world is now knocking on the White House door, wanting to do business and make things right with the United States because times have changed. And once again, things are being made equal and right.
I haven't seen anything from them, but Larry, I can tell you that there are 50, 60, maybe almost 70 countries now who have approached us. So it's going to be a busy April, May, maybe into June. And Japan is a very important military ally. They're a very important economic ally. And the U.S. has a lot of history with them. So I would expect that Japan's going to get priority just because they came forward very quickly, but it's going to be very busy. And if President Trump, again, gave himself maximum negotiating leverage, and just when he achieved the maximum leverage, he's willing to start talking.
Yeah. 50, 60, 70 countries, Taiwan, Japan, they're all jumping in because now they know there's a real man in president. There's a man with a spine, a man with a vision, a man with experience, a man with a team of Avengers, and a man with the heart to do whatever it takes to make America great again, healthy again, safe again. And that's why Americans should celebrate because, my God, we at times, I feel, don't deserve what we're getting when it comes to the good of what is going on right now. But you hear it, you see it. This is what's happening. So much good happening. S&P 500 day opening up higher. Oh, the world is falling. The world is falling. No, it's not. No, it's not. Deep breath. As Americans, as humans, we're used to getting things quickly and easy and softly. And we suck when it comes to our mental toughness and a lot of times common sense compared to our grandparents. The Supreme Court women ruled against Donald Trump using Alien Enemies Act for deportations. Yes, women. Why no men? It was all the women. Good point coming from you, Robert. These are illegal gang members who were raping and pillaging Americans. Gang members illegally here and gang members. And all 4 women voted to keep them here. Bought and paid for. Bought and paid for. Bought and paid for. None of it adds up. None of it makes sense. Well, I know strong, conservative, godly women who don't want that. But for whatever reason, those 4 women, in my humble opinion, do not represent American women. There is no way in hell. No way in hell. I get so damn frustrated. First of all, never listen to the moment. Yeah. No, I get it. I do get it. But Americans are not stopping, and they shouldn't stop. And I'm glad that they're not. And they're trying. But these judges last night, at least the good news in this situation is the fact that these illegals, these gang members, these felons, violent felons, many of them are going away. Caroline Levitt joined Jesse Waters to break down things that are going on right now and the Supreme Court's decision. And I hope and pray somehow, some way, Amy Coney Barrett gets what she deserves, and that is the notoriety for being a woman who wanted illegal gang members here voting against Donald Trump. Do not let that ever be forgotten. Here's the good news, though.
You had another couple critical wins in the court with regard to Doge. Tell us about those. That seems to be making progress.
Yes, absolutely. There have been many wins that the mainstream media has failed to cover, particularly over the weekend. The Supreme Court also ruled that the president does, in fact, have the authority over federal funding, that he can dictate what funds can go out the door and what can't, so long as they are part of the executive branch. So we've always, again, maintained that every executive order the president has signed, every executive action that he has taken has been well within his executive authority. And Doge is doing a tremendous job at cutting back at the waste and the fraud and the abuse that have been ripping off American taxpayers, that have not been aligned with our interests here in our country. So we're going to continue the president's agenda. Again, he's well within his constitutional authority, and it's great to see the Supreme Court reining in these activist judges who are wearing robes but are acting as judicial activists, not as real judges and real arbiters.
Yeah. Bringing them in. And that's exactly what happened last night. You just got to continue to call out the mainstream media is not going to report it all. Of course they're not. They're not going to do any of this. That's what we have to do. And we're going to continue to do it. That's for sure. Because the bad is not going to stop. You're still going to have people trying to cause problems. Still trying to say, no. Conservatives, we don't want this. And then you have Senator Grassley, who Robert was telling us about, bringing forward legislation to require Congress to get 60 votes regarding tariffs. Yes, it's a stupid idea. And thank God Speaker Mike Johnson, with an opportunity to show his spine last night, speaking about this. So I've been wishy-washy on Mike Johnson. We should have to be feel wishy-washy on the people who've been elected to these positions. But at least Mike Johnson, with a show of support for Donald Trump last night, showing he does have a spine.
Mr. Speaker.
Not sure yet.
But Mr. Speaker, there's a push by some of your members to give Congress a say. Don Bacon has a bill to give Congress a say in reviewing the tariffs. Why not give Congress the opportunity to have it be a check on the president on this
Congress
issue?
will weigh in on it, but with the president, with the administration in tandem, and I think you got to give the president the latitude, the runway to do what it is he was elected to do, and that is get this economy going again and get our trade properly balanced with other countries. So I think most of the American people understand the necessity of that. Listen, we had a a $1.2 trillion trade deficit in 2024. I don't think that's fair to our country. I think the American people understand that, and I think they see a president who's engaging and trying to fix that. So we're going to give him the space necessary to do it, and we'll see how it all develops.
Do you think Trump administration officials should brief members? I mean, some of your members are asking for a briefing at the very least to understand the strategy.
His office is directly engaged with members, and we'll have.
Do you expect to talk to the
Okay. Mike Johnson bringing it forward. Paul says, unfortunately, still looking over my shoulder with Johnson. Yeah, I do too. Mitch says that he hopes Donald Trump is listening, and you know he is, that he's going to go after all the insurance companies as well. I don't know exactly what you mean when it comes to the insurance companies, which specific story. But yeah, just to make if you're making one thing right, try to make everything as right as possible. Good morning to everybody. This is cancelthisshow.com. Here from 9 to 10 a.m. in the mornings. Glad you're with us as well. Like, subscribe, share the show. You can catch us on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, and Rumble, of course. And of course, you can jump in and talk to us live during our shows. We love you guys talking in from all over the country. We broadcast live out of the Missouri area, specifically St. Louis metropolitan area and Strategic Air Services. Okay. Where's all the Doge money going? Good point from Jeannie. Thought they were going to pay our debt down. That money is still there. And Doge is not done. Before Elon leaves in May, officially leaves in May, there will be an update when it comes out. And of course, as always, you can go to the website and look at everything that continues to happen. Love it. Love it. Love it. Greg with an update, by the way. The Dow up almost 1,400 points this morning. Okay. And it still may be rocky, but I'm telling you, as I've told you from the get-go, deep breaths. Donald Trump knows exactly what he is doing. He's not going to do things how people did before. And he came to be a divider. He came to make things right. You can't do what you've always done, or you're going to get what you've always gotten. You've got to disrupt the chain of what is happening to make things better. Get rid of the debt, lower the interest rates, and get all the wasteful spending and fraud out of our government. Okay, good point from the chat line. Think how easy it is to bribe our federal officials. $1 billion each, or $515 billion, buys $22 trillion a year country. Let that sink in. I'll read it again. Think about how easy it is to bribe federal officials. $1 billion each, or $515 billion, buys the $22 trillion a year country. Let that sink in. It is. Money, money, money. Money can be the root of all evil. It can be. And of course, we know what happens in politics, and we've seen it happen for so long. And people just think it's normal until you stop the bad that became accepted as normal, which is what Donald Trump and his administration is doing right now, shining a light on all of the crap that is going on. Is he perfect? Is his team perfect? No, but damn, are they doing a damn good job right now. An amazing job with our country. I love the fact, but like I said, things are not going to stop. People are still going to try to come after us. These judges are still going to be popping up. Benny Johnson, I love what he does with his podcast work as well, had on journalist Ben Berkwim yesterday, and listen to what they're talking about when it comes to cartels. Once again, why are these judges doing what they're doing? Amy Coney Barrett, Boasberg, Chin, others, these lower court judges who 100% know that they cannot win, they cannot circumvent the law and the rules that they're doing and go over our sitting president. They can't. They know it. Why are they doing it? Well, here's a perspective.
Do you have any direct evidence that judges are being paid off by the cartels? I certainly wouldn't put it past them. I mean, we know that they paid off the Biden family, and we know that the Biden family was in direct business connections with the cartels. They were like a drug smuggling, human smuggling jobs program for the administration and for American elites. Joe Biden is the single largest human smuggler in world history, his administration. But do you have any direct, are there direct connections between these judges that are now saying turn around terrorists and bring them back into the heartland of America?
Well, I don't think you need direct lines, although I think there will be. We'll find that. If I were in the administration, I'd be spending my entire time looking at the funding. It's just like what we have going on in Mexico. They cut off the heads of the cartels. Many of the cartels They took out the leaders. The biggest thing that you have to go after now are the bankers. You need to track down the money, where the money's being laundered through and to, and then you'll find all of the connections that also go from Mexico up into the United States. But the judges themselves, there doesn't need to be a money trail directly to them. The fact that they are directly aiding and abetting the cartels through their policies. This judge right now, you're showing, trying to block President Trump from deporting illegals, sending them to El Salvador, while his daughter is getting paid to help NGOs in trafficking. I mean, this is, to me, first off, it's impeachable. These judges that are breaking their oath, that are going against the Constitution, that are undermining the presidential powers, I think that's impeachable on its own. But beyond that, to me, it's treason what they've done. And this is the biggest problem we have right now. We're talking about a mass deportation that needs to happen. We had Joe Biden let in 10 to 15 million illegals, and the Democrats let in 10 to 15 million. And now President Trump and Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are trying to deport these illegals, and you have judges blocking that. And so whether or not there's a direct money line, now I would say they're more than likely, once we actually get the investigations into this, you'll find direct lines, financial lines to these judges and to the politicians. I think of people like Veronica Escobar, whose husband is a judge, an immigration judge down in El Paso, Texas. I have no doubt we're going to find direct financial contributions from the cartels to these individuals. But whether or not they have, we even see that, we can see the pattern. You can see the fruits of their work. And the only other justification would be you just hate this country. And so regardless, these people need to be out of politics. They need to be out of the judiciary, because they're working to undermine this country. So, but again, I haven't done the investigations. I'm not in the Justice Department, but I would love to see Pam Bondi do that. I would love to see arrests actually start happening. I'd love to see Kash Patel and in communications with Kash and his team, and I'd love to see those investigations start happening if they aren't already happening.
All right, we can get out right there. Love to hear the interview. What are you guys' thoughts from the chat line when it comes to what you hear? Nothing would surprise me anymore. I think that's where we are. Nothing would surprise us when it comes to money being given to judges and judges doing things that are so damn stupid, and they know from the get-go that they have no shot at doing what they're trying to do, and mainstream media won't call them out, so they have some sort of protection there. Why would they do that? Why would they ruin their names and reputations? And they're not doing it in the name of God or the name of law. They're doing it for themselves. It doesn't make sense. Still must show all money evidence. I agree. Who in the hell has $1 billion handed to all these people from the chat line? Yeah, I get it. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. So, what I don't get is this. Media refusing to call this out. Liberals refusing to call this out. Because I don't care. I know that a lot of times the D in Democrat stands for dumb. But this stuff is so obvious. No, it's done on purpose. And it's a sad state of affairs. But the good thing is the fact that we're not going to stop. There's people around the world. I mean, we've got judges here who are going to stand up. Now you've got, we've had the Houthis. If you're not familiar with it, they're trying to start a war backed by Iran. But yesterday, we're showing our might. Pete Hegseth with an amazing press conference sitting next to Donald Trump yesterday, and J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Listen to Pete Hegseth explain, once again, the most transparent president we have ever had with the most transparent administration, and not talking in a manner that is confusing and what I call attorney talk, instead of black and white, freaking emotional talk saying, listen, you do this, this is what happens. We've now got a money guy that's in the presidency, and we've got a guy that knows how to make deals. Listen to Pete Hegseth.
It's been a bad 3 weeks for the Houthis, and it's about to get worse. It's been a devastating campaign, whether it's underground facilities, weapons manufacturing, bunkers, troops in the open, air defense assets. We are not going to relent. And it's only to get more unrelenting until the Houthis declare they will stop shooting at our ships. And we've been very clear with the Iranians as well. They should not continue to provide support to the Houthis, and that message has been made very clear. So we have a lot more options and a lot more pressure to apply. And we know, because we see the reports, how devastating this campaign has been in them, and we will not relent. It's been.
And you shouldn't, and we won't. Pete Hegseth, another guy doing a phenomenal job in the role that he's in. I have had people ask, where's Kash Patel? Where's the Epstein files? Where's the information? What's going on with that? And I agree. I mean, I love the job that the administration has done, but I do not like what has happened when it comes to the Epstein files. What do we want to know? Okay, it's one thing to know, but where's the justice? It's not just the salacious details of who's on the list. And I hope that's not just what people want. It's about accountability, justice for the victims. And not one person has gone to jail that was doing any sort of molesting, raping, anything else that is illegal besides one woman who was connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Bondi and Patel should report twice a week. I agree. Unless something big is coming, or they don't have in the files what they thought they would have, or too many damn people who were not only Democrats but Republicans were involved. I don't know. But I want that list, and I agree it's fair, but we have to give them time. They just started. From the chat line, supposedly Bondi releases Epstein files on Thursday. I hope. We've done this twice now, though. So it's like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Are we going to get it again? I hope we do. And we should get it. Those files are gone coming from the chat line. They might be. I know you think of all the time that's gone by and still nobody brought to justice. Nobody. And then the connections with Epstein, and then of course the Diddy situation that's going on. And we had who's the actor? Terrence Howard came out over the weekend and said that he didn't give up his manhood to Diddy like all the other guys that hang out with Diddy. Leave it at that. Said he wouldn't do it. But all these other guys that hang out with him, and think of who his best friends are. LeBron, who also showed up in dresses. Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, these are people that hung out with Diddy. Jay-Z. Yeah. Projo says when they start making arrests, it's going to get really weird. It might. Tanya with a shout out for Dan Bongino, saying Dan Bongino is great. I want information on that as well. And not just salacious, bring people to justice. The victims deserve it. And if you are a victim, or if you know people who are victims of any of these sort of crimes and sex crimes, you know what I'm talking about. Bonding has had over 50 interviews, blah, 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 blah. Bondi, you mean? Bondi. Probably Bondi. Yeah. The information needs to be brought forward. And we call it out here. That's what I love about our show. Yes. We love Trump. We love the administration. We love where this country's going. But we also have to call out what's going on with the Epstein side. Bill Maher, again, no, he's not a conservative, and he's not a Republican, and he's not going to be. But he did talk about Donald Trump, and I thought this is interesting on how he breaks this down. Just talking about how Donald Trump is so relatable to people, especially when you meet him.
Trump really is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in to being more who you are. The people are not savvy about issues, but they smell a phony a mile away. And that kind of shit, nobody else does it. You know, there's a couple of times when, look, I've been his biggest critic for good reason. And when he got reelected, I said, I'm not going to pre-hate anything. And then the first week I said, well, there's lots of things I hate because I do. Okay, there's some things I don't hate also, but the way he can do that and sometimes kind of make me go, oh man, I got to give it up. Like when he did that thing where the guy came in from the Taliban and he said, this is an aerial picture of your house. If during our withdrawal, one American is hurt, just know I know where you live. I was like, oh, can we just play the music now? Because I don't care. It's Donald Trump and he's the worst person ever, blah, blah, blah. I fucking love that. One time they were doing something was going on with, and he said, you know what? When you come after New York, you got to go through me. It's like, oh, hometown boy. You know, he has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have.
Yeah, good luck. Isn't that so well said, so well stated what we have seen with Donald Trump? It's all connected. Yeah, he was, Jeannie says, is that the arrogant Cuomo? Jerk Cuomo? Yeah, that's him. That's him. He's tried to, he's another Gavin Newsom, just trying to bob and weave through all of the craziness and the silly things that he has said, done, connected, and supported. Yes, that's why Trump connects, because he's not a politician. He's a money man. He's a deal maker, which is what this country needed. No politics, because a lot of times politicians will be like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. No, it's straightforward. It's black and white. It's factual. It's in your face. This is what needs to be done. End of story. I'll see you later. I don't need you. You need me. I don't need your money. You need us. I don't get bought and paid for, and I never will. So I don't have to answer to anybody else. And I absolutely love what we're starting to see. Absolutely amazing. When is the Faust Cuomo cage match? I don't know. I never found him. If I ever met him, I would have done it. Now he's trying to be more of a conservative. He doesn't say the silly stuff that he used to. I don't have a desire to beat him anymore. I really don't. At one point I did, just to shut him up. But yeah, I get it. I think it's totally amazing, coming from the chat line from Donna, how much we hear from Trump compared to the last 4 years of Biden. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I wanted to give you guys the gift that keeps on giving, as we wind the show down today. Jasmine Crockett. This shows you, if the Democratic Party had a leader, if they had any sort of common sense, if they had any sort of a direction, if they had any sort of a plan / policy, they would shut this woman up. Are they afraid? Are they just not there? It reminds me, it's like the team that has no leader. There's no captain, there's no coach. And they're all just, everybody's doing their own thing. This woman, listen to what she says. If I have not, I mean, this is a woman who's complaining about racism, who's making racist statements towards Mexicans and the Latino community. And it shocks me that mainstream media, even mainstream media, isn't calling her out yet.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation. I know that's right. So.
Okay. She doesn't even get it. I mean, she just said that's all Mexicans can do, that they're the ones that should be picking cotton. I mean, this woman, and we already know who she is. We've already showed you who she is. She is a racist. She is a person who is just trying, she's a race baiter. She's being paid to say and do what she's doing, and nobody is calling her out. From the chat line, Corey Bush 2.0, future vaccine waters. She thinks she's a comedian. Now she's a scholar for real. She's just a disruptor, stupid idiot, all coming from the chat line. And she's a racist. Once again, we showed you all the comments that Joe Biden made to prove that he was a racist. And racist, I mean, just racist comments. Every time Jasmine Crockett opens her mouth, something comes out of it that's like, oh my God, what did she say? And if Democrats think that's how they're going to get Mexicans and Latinos who are very smart people on their side, not going to happen. Talk to Mexicans. Discredit Mexicans and Latinos and see where it gets you. It won't get you very far. We're talking about smart, hardworking people who did not come here and deliver a presidential race for Joe Biden. We're talking about a group of people that helped Donald Trump and voted in record numbers for a conservative in Donald Trump. But it is what it is. And we're just grateful for who we are. But who else is speaking more for the Democratic Party than her? I don't know. Have at it. We'll go do what we need to do from our standpoint. Want to give you another news headline. I don't know what to make about this. Lowe's, I like it on the surface. Easter's coming up. Lowe's has decided to close their store. 1,700 stores. Lowe's is closing 1,700 stores for a 24-hour period, Projo, to give their employees off for Easter and time to spend with their families. Lowe's has made that public. Your thoughts?
You made that sound so sinister.
Lowe's is closing their stores, 1,700 of them, for 24 hours to celebrate Easter. They said that they wanted all of their employees nationwide to be with their families during that time. On the surface, I love it. I think it's great. It's actual, now they didn't get into what Easter's about. I don't think they need to, but they're giving all of their employees off for Easter, something that they hadn't done before. So if you like that, then maybe you choose Lowe's. As I told you earlier, somebody very close to me had a very bad experience at Lowe's and will never shop at Lowe's again, despite what Lowe's is trying to do here. And of course, we're just trying to get the information out, give you the news headlines, let you talk about it, let you debate about it, and go from there. I don't know. Obviously you get into the battle wars, Lowe's, Home Depot, and so forth, and other stores. But I thought it was a headline. That's why I share it with you guys today. It is what it is. Not really registering with you guys. Also, we told you about this yesterday. The 8-ball pool championship was won by a biological man. Well, when I went back and did more research on the story after you guys told me about it yesterday, the second place finisher was also a biological man. You can't make that up. And also a case is coming down the line. A Christian school in Vermont is going to have its day in court. I believe it's coming up today. Vermont Christian school refused to play a basketball team with a massive high school boy on it, acting like a girl. And then the state of Vermont disqualified the entire school of every sport being allowed to play high school sports. Yeah, and this has been going on for a while. Vermont did this to this Christian school because they refused to play against a boy cheating, acting like a girl who has a mental disorder. Yeah, well, that Vermont school is going to have its opportunity in court, and what has been done to them is absolutely wrong. We will continue to follow that story for you and see where it goes. And also, the gift that keeps on giving, Donald Trump and his administration taking $1.5 million from Maine's correctional facilities because they're continuing to allow biological men in female prisons. Donald Trump's not playing. You start messing around, these are the kind of things that will happen. So more power to you. We'll see where you go from that. Donna said, I thought Trump made that illegal for boys to play in girls sports. He did. And Maine tried to go against it. And guess what? Then they have funding pulled. And that's what they did in Maine. Absolutely. That is what's happening. Also, before we get out of here today, Greg says last stock market update, all platforms up around 3% so far. And I've made enough so far today to buy lunch at Wendy's for you and me and Projo. Thank you, Greg. If we can make it happen, I'll make it happen. Vermont keeps voting Sanders. It says no more. Guys, we appreciate you jumping in with canceltheshow.com. Speaking of Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley, check them out. Ben and Marla have a great place, some of the best bar food you're going to have. Great service as well. It's just a good place to go, relax, have a good time. and eat about 10 different things that could become your favorite food. Not kidding. 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Work hard, play hard. Also, when it comes to food, Capriati's, we talk about their amazing sandwiches. Their owner, Jonathan Heslop's going to be with us Thursday in studio as well. Supporter of many conservative causes, Capriati's, great sandwiches start with great ingredients. We're talking about the Wagyu beef and the fresh roasted turkey that they slice and dice every morning for their amazing sandwiches. Don't forget their to die for fries. And of course, their catering, which is second to none. Open 9 to 9 every day in the St. Louis area in Rock Hill. And as grilling season comes and more people are on their grills, don't forget about using Rockwood charcoal. Rockwood, all natural, and it's different. You take a charcoal, you break it apart in your hands, you can tell it's all natural. If you can't do that with a charcoal, it is filled with fillers. Those fillers are bad for your health. You don't want that burning on your food. That's why you order from or go to Ace Hardware to get your Rockwood charcoal, literally the best charcoal in America, and it's made in the state of Missouri. It's time to get those real estate plans in place if you have any. And for that, you go to Megan Livingstone. You call her at 314-249-1708. That's 314-248 or 249-1708. Or you can email her, Megan at experience-re.com. That's Megan at Megan, MEGHAN at experience-re.com. Donald Trump is going to have interest rates coming down by May. I'm telling you, get your plan in place, especially because those interest rates can affect housing. It can affect selling and buying. Get your plan together with Megan very soon. Also, I want to give a shout out to a new company that we're partnering with, and I actually work with them on the side. It's Revolve.construction. Once again, Revolve.construction. The St. Louis area was hit with a bunch of storms, specifically in the South and South County and South area and just, all parts of St. Louis. Revolve.construction does it all. If you have any sort of issues, go to revolveconstruction.com. Tell them you heard about them on Cancel This, and they will give you a discount. Or just tell them, hey, I heard Vic talking about Revolve.construction.
Yeah, you said revolveconstruction.com. It's revolve.construction. There's no
Revolve.construction, Revolve.construction. I get moving quickly. Thank you for correcting me, Joe. Revolve.construction. The key with Revolve.construction, you see their website, you see all the amazing work that they do, is the fact that they support what we do, number one. Number two, they have an all local team. They don't sublet anything. That is a huge deal when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, decks, and they do everything. You don't want to have a couple different tickets. Oh, I'm going to do my roofing here. I'm going to do my siding there. No, they do it all. And they have their own crew. So it's trained for specifications. They don't have to go out and hire out other crews. They have their own local crew. Residential, commercial, you name it, they do it. If you're looking to replace your roof or do some work or siding or windows or whatever, give them a call. Or if you know somebody, at least talk to them. And here's where they really stand out with insurance. Their team is experienced when it comes to the insurance. That's where they stand out against other companies. Lots of companies do really good work when it comes to roofing, siding, windows. They do. There are other companies who do it all, few. And then there's some that do it all and have their own local company, their own local workers. That's what Revolve separates themselves. But when it comes to the insurance, they have the experience to make sure that you're not getting screwed over in any way and you're getting all the money that you should. Revolve.construction, Revolve.construction. The website says it all. It shows you how professional they are, what they do. Give them a call, numbers on the website, or feel free to let them know that you heard about them here on canceltheshow.com, and you'll get a discount as well. Please use my name as well. If you guys have any questions, feel free to also give me a call or a text when it comes to roofing. I'm including my phone number on the chat line for you as well. That is 248-763-6721. Once again, 248-763-6721. And I also want to remind you guys, hey, we still have the Mount Trumpmores. And if there was ever a time for Donald Trump to be celebrated, it is now. And that legislation is still out there to put Donald Trump on Mount Rushmore. This is called Mount Trumpmore. Mount Trumpmore is what we're showing. Mount Trumpmore. Not that. It's water. Trumpmore. Mount Trumpmore. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. This is an 8.5 inch by 5.5 inch statue with the Constitution written on the back. It is a great piece for you. $49.99. You go to meshingwellliving.com. meshingwellliving.com, meshingwellliving.com. And you can get the Trump War piece. We've had a lot of people purchase those, and they love them as well. Guys, we appreciate you jumping in on the show today. For Pro Joe, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day. We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you for any support and the support that you guys have given us before in any way, liking, subscribing, sharing the show, donating at our website, canceltheshow.com, anything. Guys, thank you again. Have an awesome day. We'll catch up with you on Thursday.